was watched in its entirety.
Wait, why did you link me a debunking video to your own claim?
Uh, This is this is from I'm just like getting. I saw you on Tim Pool. You were really good there. I think the reason I like you is because you're more rational than these like crazy Vosh lefties. But first of all, the reason for the Twitch viewers that are wondering why I'm here, uh, the reason I'm here is because Destiny is consistently deflecting on the affidavits issue. Specifically, I said in chat, there's over thousands of affidavits. This is backed up by a Newsweek article. But so altogether, thousands of articles. You seem to think, you said that, oh, it's just affidavits, dude. It's not just affidavits. There's thousands of affidavits. If you lie on them, you go to jail. Come on, man. You know better than this than to deflect on this issue.
Okay, I'm not trying to do any gotchas. What's your impression of what an affidavit is?
My impression of what an affidavit is a sworn statement that can be used in court of law, and specifically, I don't believe it's complete evidence, but I believe it can be. I believe it can back up statistical anomalies or give reasoning to.
Cool. Okay, so that's good. We're on the same page. So they're sworn statements by people. If you lie on a sworn statement like this, you're perjuring yourself. That's technically a bad thing, right? It's just a sworn statement, then somebody says that they believe that they saw a certain thing, basically. Yeah.
Yes. So there's statements alleging voter fraud. I believe there's over 500. This is an old article.
Yeah. There's lots and lots and lots of affidavits, of course. So my question is why is it that it seems like almost every single time these affidavits are run into in any of these courts, state or federal or circuit courts or whatever, why do the judges like summarily toss them out? They have gone through a lot of them. It turns out that the quality of the evidence is either poor or non-existent, or the people filling out the affidavits themselves have a misunderstanding of the actual processes, or there's just nothing material in them to even deal with. Why does it seem like these aren't doing anything in court anywhere?
Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so I hear lefties a lot saying, "Oh, Trump's lost like 31 times."
Well, no. So a lot of these other
But
court
hold
cases
on,
are brought
but
up by
hold on.
other people, sure. But just even in the
But hold on.
particular Trump
Hold
cases.
on,
Yeah, go
Destiny.
for it.
Hold
Sorry.
on, Destiny.
Go
Give
for
me
it.
1 second here. Okay. So I hear a lot of lefties saying, "Oh, 30, 31 cases." They've only brought 3
Yeah,
cases. First of
I
all.
didn't say
And
that. I
then,
don't know
and
why
then
you
on
opened
top,
with that, but go
no,
ahead.
no, no. But I'm saying a lot of your viewers seem to think that.
Yeah, that's great,
Okay.
but you're talking to me right now, not a lot of my viewers. I'm not talking about 30 cases or whatever. The
Okay,
Trump campaign
but
has
the
only
pro-
brought 3, but even those have not been doing well in court either, right? They're not getting their
Okay, but
TROs.
the problem is, Destiny, is you only tell your viewers the good things. You don't about Trump getting destroyed in court. You don't talk about thousands of affidavits. You don't talk about the
Affidavits
lie.
are just
You don't
step
talk about the
one.
lies. You don't talk about how the pipe didn't actually burst in Georgia.
Wait, but
You don't talk
wait,
about
wait.
you don't talk about that the Michigan judge gave the Trump campaign access to 22 machines. You don't talk about any of the
Yeah,
wins.
so
All you
the
do is go
recent
on
thing
and
about,
on
okay,
and on.
hold on. I can't tell if you're delusional or not, okay? So in terms of like what you just talked about, right? Like those machines, okay? Those Dominion machines, I think the most recent thing that I saw about that was a lawyer was making fun of, or a judge was making fun of the Trump campaign because because a lot of the machines that they're having problems with weren't even used in counties where the Trump campaign was losing, and they had been used in some of the counties where the Trump campaign actually won. So like, there's like the problem with a lot of these things. If somebody can find that exact quote, I just read that this morning. That a judge was pointing out that like, hey, like you allege problems with certain Dominion machines. Wait, hello.
Right. Wait, so why is it that all of the problems seem to be in the positive range for Joe Biden?
Oh shit, my internet just blew up for a sec. Sorry. Wait, why is it
Yeah,
that all the
I'm.
problems are in the positive range for Joe Biden? Maybe
Well, why is it that all these ballot dumps and shit, it's all Joe Biden? You don't see like
I don't think there
a
have been any
thousand.
ballot dumps, my dude.
Yeah, I believe there is. I'm not gonna go down the road of Dominion with you, but definitely the affidavits. I think you're deflecting on that one. I'm not
I'm
sure
not
why.
deflecting. They're
You're
just
saying it's just an affidavit. It's
I'm
not just
saying
an
that
affidavit.
I'm saying that none of the affidavits appear to be very credible. They don't actually showcase the purported voter fraud or whatever that people seem to be accusing of happening. This just doesn't seem to be the case.
Okay, so you think 1,000+ people are lying when they can be like subject to perjury laws?
No,
You
they don't
think they're
have to
just
be
lying
lying.
on
They
that?
might just be misunderstanding. So, like in the case of that Indian lady, she just had no understanding of what her job was or what she was supposed to be doing there. She was alleging that, for instance, in the TFE center or whatever, she was like, oh, like they told me not to match any signatures. Well, that's because the signatures had already been matched in another office. Like a lot of people just don't seem to understand like what it is their job is or what they're supposed to be doing.
Okay, but that's one affidavit out of how
Yeah,
many?
that's just one, but like literally every single affidavit that people that are showing up in court, like I don't think any of these have like held up anywhere. Have they? Am I missing something?
I mean, you could be right there. Like just specifically, the problem is that you only tell your viewers the positive things, like Trump's getting wrecked in court, when literally a Michigan judge gave the Trump campaign access to 22 machines
They
for
gave them
forensic audit.
access to machines.
We
How?
found that the pipe didn't actually burst and it was a lie.
Okay, pipe not bursting.
We've
That's not
seen
evidence of
video.
anything. Giving somebody access to a machine is not evidence of anything. Those machines, by the way, like the DHS themselves, even Barr said that they had access to those machines. The FBI didn't. They went through them, but they didn't find anything wrong. Like, do you think do you think Giuliani and his team are going to find something that our intelligence agencies at the Department of Justice missed? Like,
I believe if a judge goes in and declares that there can be a forensic audit, I believe that there would have to be evidence put forth to the judge. I don't believe a judge would just say, "Oh, go look into these 22 machines" if nothing had happened. But aside from that,
well,
do you want
that's
to get
this
into
is
the video?
step
'Cause you played
that's
the
step.
video
Wait,
out
real
there.
quick. That's stage one of an investigation. Okay, like oh yeah, like here, like this is like discovery. Like just because you're at that doesn't mean that you've proved anything or that there's like strong evidence even for anything. Like you've just gotten like the ability to look at some machines. Like this is literally just stage one of any court case.
Yeah, but I believe that the judge would need evidence to actually like, you know, audit these machines, right?
Not. It depends on the availability of the machine. I don't. Apple is fucking different. In the discovery portion of a court case, hopefully I don't get this wrong, but in the discovery section of a court case, basically somebody makes a claim or files a suit against somebody. Discovery allows, I believe, each side to ask the other for certain documents or evidence relating to or pertaining to the case. It might be for these machines. You might not even need like a subpoena. I don't know if the machines are just made readily available or not, because if they didn't even need a subpoena, it sounds like it was even easier to get access to these machines, right? Like a subpoena requires a decent amount of evidence to get, right? You have to say like, oh, well, there's like a reason to believe that this whatever's here, so I get a subpoena from a judge that forces you to show me some record or whatever. But in terms of just asking somebody for a machine or like, oh yeah, we'll make this available to you, I don't think that's like a big deal. It doesn't mean there's like huge evidence shown or anything.
Um, I mean, you might be right, not huge evidence, but aside from that, I just want to get into because I talked about the video of like the suitcases under the table, and you said, oh, they had been there the whole time. Why do you say that? If you could just give some context there.
Yeah, sure. Hold on one second. Fuck. I'm not gonna be able to find the exact quote, but this was something that there was another statement from a judge where they went through it. They said they watched the entire footage, and they said that the suitcases, not the suitcases, but the ballot boxes that were under that table had been there literally the entire time. That they watched the video from start to finish, and these were never snuck in ever. If anybody has a link to this, do you remember which state this was for? Was this for Michigan or?
I believe it was Michigan. I mean, actually, it might have been, no, it was Atlanta.
Wait,
It
hold on.
was
Your
Georgia.
mic is going really crazy right now. I don't know why.
It was
Wait, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. Did you say it was Georgia?
Yeah, it was Georgia.
Okay, hold on one sec. Georgia, judge, ballot, table. Let me see if we can find this.
Kogasu I am happy gods to me witness me ooh.
Hold on, give me a second. I'm just trying to find the particular quote.
President Trump's team is pointing.
If anybody else saw this, this is another thing I think I'd read just this morning. Kraken lawyer Sidney Powell's election fraud cases are thrown out in Michigan and Georgia. Detroit federal judge slams her for trying to undermine democracy and ignore the will of millions. Let's see. Can we find this? Our investigation and review of the entire security footage revealed that there were no mystery ballots that were brought in from an unknown location and hidden under tables, as has been reported by some. This is what investigator Francis Watson wrote, Fox News reported. The judge's decision came after a federal judge in Michigan on Monday issued yet another withering opinion dismissing an effort by legal aides to President Donald Trump to overturn... yeah, but I'm pretty sure they went through, like, they went through these videos, and the idea that these votes were snuck in is just not true. There's like 20...
Yeah,
wait, your mic is going crazy. Your mic is going crazy. Your mic is crazy. I don't know what it's doing, sorry.
Okay.
I don't know if there's like a setting you're hitting or what, but it's like 10 million% louder and it's like super deep. I don't know if there's like a cable.
Okay, 1 second.
Yep, okay. Wait, hello? Yeah, it was fine when you said 1 sec before.
Any better?
Oh, yep,
on
this
that?
is fine, yeah.
Okay,
Here's
so
a more specific quote. 1 sec real quick. In an affidavit filed tonight in federal court, the chief investigator for the Office of Georgia Secretary of State debunks right-wing conspiracy theory that there were ballots secretly hidden under a table. Number 7, our investigation and review of the entire security footage revealed that there were no mystery ballots that were brought in from an unknown location and hidden under tables, as has been reported by some. Video taken hours before shows the table being brought into the room at 8:22 a.m. Nothing was underneath the table then. Around 10 p.m., with the room full of people, including official monitors and the media, video shows ballots that had already been opened but not counted, placed in the boxes, sealed up, stored under the table. This was done because employees thought they were done for the night and were closing up ready to leave. When the counting continued until later in the night, those boxes were opened so that the ballots inside could then be counted. So that's that particular affidavit. Go ahead.
Even if you were right on that, why were they being counted after people were told to go home and they said they were going to
Wait, your
stop
mic
counting?
is doing crazy shit again. I don't know why. Hello?
Okay, is that the one?
Wait, try tapping it or like the cable or something?
On the Dominion machines,
Yeah.
that was in one county for a marijuana proposal, and the judge's order was essentially just a temporary restraining order, which you need to look at as most favorable as possible to the plaintiff's argument, not substantively, right? And the determination was that they just need to preserve all records related to examination of those specific machines, 22 machines, because of a local marijuana ordinance.
Gotcha.
So there's no substantive ruling there. Essentially, you just look at the potential harm. You basically weigh the harm to the plaintiff, their likelihood to prevail on the merits, et cetera, but there's no substantive ruling there.
Okay, sorry. So what was your next point?
So the question I posed to you was, why were they still being counted after the media and poll watchers were told to go home and that they were stopping counting?
I don't know why, but there's been zero evidence presented so far that shows any misdoing whatsoever. Could have been that they changed their mind, that they wanted to count more that night. It could have been a miscommunication. Could have been
That's a problem. Do you believe it's a problem?
Wait. Okay, I can't tell if you're trolling me or not. Can you turn on the stream for a second and listen to what your mic is sounding like? I don't understand if he's... Like, after a second, after it does it, it comes back and it's fine. I don't understand what kind of microphone you have or what could possibly be happening, but... Okay, hello? He's just eating his mic? No, it's not just eating his mic. There's some weird setting that's getting flipped, or a cable is getting like knocked or something. Some weird shit is happening. It's not just being too close to the mic.
Is it done?
It's doing the thing. I don't understand. There must be some setting or something you're clicking somewhere, or something is weird with the cable, or...
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, it's okay, I think.
Is it a bit better here or no?
Yeah, this is fine. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so I outlined my point. I just wanted to ask, do you believe that was a problem, or do you think it's fine? Or so you think that they just changed their mind? There's no ulterior motive in that?
I don't know. That's to be proven in court. And so far, Trump has not been able to successfully defend any of those assertions. So,
Okay, I'm not sure if he's raised a legal battle on that specific point.
oh well, then why are we talking about it?
Because it could be, it could lead to the legislature. You know, the section in the Constitution they keep talking about could lead to that.
Wait, it could lead to what?
So the section in the, I'd have to bring it up, but it's Article 14 or Amendment 14, the 14th Amendment. I believe Section 7 or Article 7.
What about this?
So you know, they keep, you know how they keep talking about the 14th Amendment and how the state legislature can like pick the electors basically if they believe something's wrong.
Sure, but they haven't been able to prove anything wrong at all so far. So I mean, it seems kind of like a hard sell to me.
Okay. So to say they haven't proved anything wrong at all, I think that's disingenuous.
What have
And I
they
think
proved
the-
wrong that we're missing?
It's been proven that the pipe, in fact, didn't actually burst
What
that
does that?
night
What
when
does
we were-
that show?
That shows possible,
Possible, which
possible
means
problems.
So one problem that I notice a lot of you guys that are big fans of Trump do is you guys will look at something that might be evidence that maybe something needs to be looked into, but then you just stop there and you assume that like, oh well, there, like.
Well, no, I'm
You
not
need-
saying stop there. I'm saying let's investigate. Let's get
Well,
into.
but that's the problem. That's what you don't want to talk about. These things have been investigated, and you're losing over and over and over and over again. Like,
Well, hold on. I don't believe that the pipe burst problem was investigated or what might have happened after that because they said that a pipe burst and they continued to vote after.
okay, can we'll entertain this one. Can you link me? Can you link me this? Link me your story about this, or what exactly are we talking about?
Okay. Yeah, I'll just link this part of the hearing. You can quickly watch. How can I send this to you? I'm not sure. Maybe message or
Discord.
on a message or in.
Yeah, just send a message. I message you on Discord.
Okay. Yeah.
According to the witnesses, the Republican observer.
Okay, so you're sending me like a excerpt from a Steven Crowder show. All right, hold on. Let me watch.
According to the witnesses, the Republican observers, there is a lady who has blonde braids who comes out to announce we're going to stop counting. Everyone go home. And in fact, we see that. What happens is everyone clears out. So what you're going to see, look at the ladies in yellow. You'll see that they will begin to sitting still, doing nothing, ostensibly not working because after all they said they're going to stop counting. They will wait until the witnesses over there in that roped off area, the press and the observers, leave the room. Then you'll see them move into action and begin scanning ballots. Once everyone is gone, coast is clear, they're going to pull ballots out from underneath a table. There you go. So now they're going to start pulling these ballots out from under this table.
Wait, this is the table thing. This has already been lost in court. What was the other thing you wanted to talk about?
So the point of that is that I believe that is the same area where they said the pipe burst, but I can quote two other
link me
things real
something
quick.
related to that because this has already gone to court and lost on like they already looked at all the security footage and this just didn't fly.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna quickly look through your.
Do you just curious on this? Do you think it would be a bit strange and stupid of them to literally engage in this type of fraud on camera? Does that seem a little strange to you, or did you just?
No, it doesn't. I don't know if they were. I don't know if they knew they were on camera or not. So I'm not gonna make any judgments on that.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. This is the next thing. Let's see what we got. Twitter.
That might have been the wrong one, but-
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a second. Hold on.
That ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, the second
So I
one
let
is the
them do it.
video
Oh, wait, hold on,
thing
I'm-
about the pipe, the water leak, and counting happened on 2 different nights apparently.
Okay. Let me watch the second one.
Yeah, I saw 4 suitcases come out from underneath the table.
Yeah.
Supporters of the president are calling it suitcase gate.
I'm going to call it a suitcase.
But those are not suitcases. 11 Alive has confirmed they're the standard ballot containers used by Fulton County.
And frankly, this has been debunked for weeks by our Secretary of State's office.
Your officials need to watch the video.
They did. State investigators reviewed the State Farm surveillance tapes weeks ago. Gabriel Sterling with the Secretary of State's office tweeted the 90-second video of election workers purporting to show fraud was watched in its entirety.
Wait, why did you link me a debunking video to your own claim?
This is from I'm just like getting some points from this article here. This is really the article that I'm going over to
Okay, but
to
like,
go
yeah,
with.
so, but like the tweet that you just linked me, like goes over and debunks exactly why all of this is just bullshit.
I think it was talking about how it's not actually, it was this not a suitcase, it was just a standard ballot container or something like that. Or the video, yeah, but the actual tweet. But yeah, I'm just getting off this
Okay,
article here.
well, let's just play with this first one. Okay, this is a key moment during the Georgia Senate hearings. Source.
According to-
So we have this thing. Media now says there was no pipe burst and poll watchers weren't sent home. Source Twitter. Water leak in the counting happened on 2 different nights. So which is it? Did it happen or it didn't? It was delayed because the water pipe burst and now it never was. I don't know what this is. I don't even know what we're alleging here. I have no idea what's even happening right now. Like, so so people are claiming that there was a pipe burst on one night and then the counting happened on another night. What's the problem here?
The problem is that the pipe burst and then they said everyone's going home, and the pipe didn't burst.
So how did the judge miss this one?
Did you see the article? This is the article that I'm getting all the links off of. But yeah.
Okay, well, do you have anything else you want to go over?
No, not really. I mean, hold on, just one thing though. I think you should be more genuine to your fans about actually covering things like this, like the thousands of affidavits. I'm not saying you have to agree with it. I'm just saying at least cover it and not say, oh, Trump's been wrecked like 20 times in court. Like actually go over his wins in court and say, well, he likely won here, but
he hasn't though.
So the Dominion thing, and then
The Dominion thing is not discovery. Is not a win, my dude.
and then there's like what was it, the Alito judge thing where it was like today, where he made it like he extended the deadline or something. Did you see that?
I saw today where they refused to decertify the Pennsylvania election results. What else was there today?
I believe just extending, time for a legislature or something, or time for the electors or something.
So this is posted 1 minute ago. This just in, the Supreme Court has rejected an effort to overturn the results of the presidential election of Pennsylvania, the latest defeat for President Trump and his allies in their attempts to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential race, which Trump lost. Was this what we were talking about? Is this the win today?
I think it was the Judge Alito ruling or something like that.
Is Apple is here? Am I an idiot? Wait, can Supreme Court judges, can they just do things on their own? Is that a thing?
No, I think he's like a circuit judge for like Pennsylvania or something, right? Justice Alito, what was it? He moves up the deadline for Supreme Court filings in Pennsylvania election challenge. There you go.
Okay. And but they
like
just lost this case today for the Pennsylvania stuff. What was the ruling on this?
Trying to get the link now. It was from the Star Democrat or something like that.
No, but I'm curious, like, what was the vote? People are saying this was literally a 9-0. Like, no dissent. Does anybody have a link to the actual decision? Hold on. I can't go.
Okay, so I sent you the article, Star Dem.
Oh, the Alito thing had to do with ballot segregation. Okay, so they said some of the ballots had to be segregated.
That was before Destiny. That's not the one I'm talking about. That was way back. I'm talking about this recent one. Alito moves up deadline for Supreme Court filings.
In the Pennsylvania
in
election
Pennsylvania.
challenge.
Right.
Wait, how is this a win? Alito has set a Tuesday deadline for a response from the state of Pennsylvania in the case which questions the legality of mail-in and absentee ballot rules. The previous deadline was Wednesday, so they moved it up one day. The Tuesday deadline does fit into safe harbor legal rules regarding the question of electoral college. But it sounds like this has to do with... Is this the same Pennsylvania thing that was rejected today then? Because if that's the case, then this, like everything else you said, isn't an indication of a win. It was literally like another hard loss. The Supreme Court on Tuesday that's today, denied a last-minute attempt by President Trump's allies to overturn the election results in Pennsylvania. The court's brief order provided no reasoning, nor did it note any dissenting votes. So on a 6-3 conservative court, they voted this down 9-0, and you felt like this was something that the president had like a promising like lead on, or?
No, I think you're being disingenuous when you say Trump hasn't won any legal battles. I think.
Can you tell me what meaningful legal battles he's won so far?
You just quoted one, the Alito segregating ballots, which they weren't doing, and then this recent one.
The segregating ballots doesn't prove
along
or help
with-
anything. That just got them to segregate some ballots. There's no proof of any voter fraud or anything impropriety happening there or whatever. Like,
I mean, just generally the word out there is like it's not looking as bad as it was for Trump. Just because of a lot of things I've been seeing on Twitter
Like-
recently.
what? He's getting crushed everywhere. What do you mean? Why do you think Trump is okay? Here, I'm super curious, okay? Why do you think that Trump's own DHS, Department of Homeland Security, Cyber Crime Section or whatever, why did that guy rebuke him? Why did Barr come out and say there was no evidence of voter fraud that would overturn the election? That the FBI has examined the Dominion voting machines, there are no problem. Why are all of these federal justices or federal judiciary picks that Trump himself has put in the courts rebuking him? Why are all of these judges throwing out a lot of these affidavits? Like, why is he losing in every single area? You notice that Trump doesn't have a single other person or entity or three-letter agents or anything that's coming in and like, oh yeah, this is like credible. Like,
Okay, so are you aware that DNI John Ratcliffe came out and made a statement that this is not like Russian disinformation? So like John Ratcliffe is pretty much on the side, would you say?
wait, because John Radcliffe said this is not Russian disinformation. He believes in the whole election fraud, voter fraud thing.
Well, I don't know if he said that exactly, but I'm pretty sure he's on Trump's side on this one. But to say like the FBI is going to be on his side, I mean, were they on his side 3 years ago? I don't know. It's like kind of disingenuous to say, oh, no three-letter agency.
So, U.S. Director of National Intelligence John Radcliffe, a Trump loyalist, said Friday that foreign adversaries are amplifying allegations of voter fraud to undermine public trust in American democracy. So this is literally the exact opposite of what you said.
Yeah, I might be wrong on that one, actually.
Okay.
I
So
was
this is
thinking
another guy
about-
that is like explicitly against Trump in this election and
Well,
voter
yeah.
fraud thing. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I assume so. I was thinking of something different about Hunter Biden's story. Sorry about that.
Gotcha.
He's not losing everywhere, by the way. I think there's a lot of like things coming out of some investigations, like that Dominion voting thing is gonna maybe play out.
Like what?
Not sure about that.
What's coming out of that?
Just okay. So would you say that this is a win? A judge, like a judge is saying, yeah, you can go and forensically audit 22 Dominion voting machines in the place where Biden.
No, why
did
do you
consider
think that's a
better.
win? You keep saying this. Why do you think this is a win?
Because there would have had to be evidence if the judge would rule in Trump's favor.
Just enough evidence to like have them look at the machines. But I don't even think these were subpoenaed. It's not like it's
Okay.
just discovery. They're just making a
Are you
machine available
aware-
for examination.
Are you aware that in Georgia, Russell Ramsland, an expert witness, presented some findings that said that Biden's votes were overrepresented compared to all other voting systems? I can source that too.
That statistical anomalies don't mean anything. This is
Well,
a
hold
very
on.
anomalous election, my dude.
Hold on, before you go into that, let me just quote it and then. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. You linked me a 6-hour and 42-minute video.
Sorry, but yeah. So it was the part where the Russell Ramsland guy, he was like
Okay.
that. I think he was the guy that was talking about like the expert guy about. You remember like the bold guy, the expert. If you watched
It
that,
might have been one we watched, yeah, where the guy was trying to present like just statistical anomalies. That's not really evidence, though.
It could lead to different things. If statistical anomalies are backed by affidavits, it's not just willy-nilly.
A
Here's
statistical
this and here's
anomaly
that.
literally means nothing.
If it's backed up by affidavits, do you believe it still
Affidavits
means nothing?
can't back up statistical anomalies. This is a very anomalous election.
Well, you're saying it's just a statistical anomaly. It's not a statistical anomaly if like there was foul play.
Well, but that's what's being alleged, and
That
we
would be
haven't seen any
purposeful.
evidence of foul play, though. That's your whole problem, right? We don't have
it would
any
be
evidence of foul play.
purposeful.
Yeah, but we haven't seen any evidence of foul play.
So if you apply that reasoning that the expert witness Russell Ramsland gave, you would find that Biden suggests that Dominion could have given Biden anywhere from 123,000 to 130,000 votes.
I don't even know what we're talking about now. What is?
So I'm talking about the expert witness Russell Ramsland. I'd have to find the timestamp.
Yeah, but
for
this
you,
isn't. There are no allegations of foul play here. It's literally just like, hey, this is kind of like weird. We haven't seen this before. But I mean, everything about this election is very weird.
And it leads to a possibility of foul play.
But you're not alleging a possibility. You're saying that like something has definitely happened.
Okay, but the affidavits give you the possibility of, hey,
But
this might be
all
a
of the
problem,
affidavits
right?
are losing in court over and over and over again.
I'm not sure about that. I know that there's a lot of affidavits. I'm not sure that every one has been disproven.
Well, they don't go through and disprove every single one, right? First of all, Giuliani himself isn't running most of these affidavits because the way that they solicited these was a joke. I'm pretty sure they had like some website where they were asking people to file it. So a lot of his own affidavits, I think he's thrown out. There's a judge that talks about the ridiculous process they used to even solicit these. And then secondly, like the only affidavits that are going to be dealt with are the ones that Giuliani himself submits to any type of court case. So they're not going to go through every single affidavit and disprove them. That's not how any part of the legal system works.
Yeah, you'd be right about that. They're not going to go through every affidavit, but just the mere fact that there is over 1,000 affidavits, I don't believe. Do you believe that every single one is a lie, or like what?
They don't
number
have
would you
to be
put on it?
lies. It could just be people are just misunderstanding the process. They think that something is supposed to go a certain way. And it doesn't.
How many people do you believe misunderstood the process?
So far, it
Do you
seems
believe
like
all
all
of
of them, every single one that's been brought up in court, yes.
Okay. And what about the affidavits that are backed up by like 2 or more witnesses? Do you
They
believe
could be
that
backing up
is
behavior that's actually totally fine. Yeah, that seems to be the case.
Okay.
If I'm wrong, I'm totally open to correction, but you have to understand that this is how every single one has gone so far.
Okay. You could be right, but I think it's highly unlikely that every single one is either misinformed about what happened or just outright lying.
Yeah,
I think
that means that
that's-
you've literally just fallen prey to like Giuliani's strategy. That's the goal, right?
Because like you can't just say that
you
they're
can.
misinformed about.
Yeah, you
Hold on,
can
hold on,
actually.
hold on,
I just
Destiny,
did though,
Destiny.
right? I just did, and it seems like all the judges are siding with that. So.
Destiny, you can't just say they're just misinformed when people are seeing like completely weird shit happening. Like it's not like they're just misinformed and seeing like that one Indian lady you quoted. It was like, oh, I saw people like you have to sign up and get an ID or something. It's not just that. It's like people seeing like tons of ballots or something being like rescanned constantly. That one Michigan woman that like everyone made memes about. She was a Dominion contract worker or something like that, and she saw like thousands of ballots being like rescanned. I don't think that's just people being misinformed about
That's
what's
great
happening.
that you don't think
I
that, but that's what
somebody- I
every
think that's
judge so far has thought.
I think that's somebody who's specialized in Dominion, and they know. I don't think they're just misinformed about what's happening. I think that lady was worked for Dominion. I think she was specialized and had knowledge about what was happening. I don't believe she was lying in that case. Do you believe so?
No, I just think that a lot of people are pretty confused about how the process works, and they're like misinformed about it. Yeah.
Okay, I think the probability of that is quite low. That every single one of them, you could be right for.
Yeah, that's
maybe,
it's good that you think that because that's Giuliani's strategy for people like you. The idea is that if I just throw 1 million affidavits and I keep screaming over and over again, there's thousands of it. That's why he waves it in front of the camera over and over again. It's for people like you, so that you see so many. You're like, well, fuck, like there's thousands. It can't possibly be wrong, right? But then you never stop and question why is it that all of the professional intelligence agencies aren't siding with Trump? Why is it that no major media publication has tried to break what would be be the most like pressing story literally of all the history of U.S. election fraud. You know, why is it that there's no professional person in the whole fucking United States that's siding with Trump? Why is it that Trump's own judicial appointees are throwing his cases out over and over again? Why is a 6-3 conservative Supreme Court not giving him favorable rulings, right? Like, you don't think about any of this because Giuliani's just waving that 1,000 stack of affidavits over and over again in front of your face, and somehow it works on you, I guess. I don't know, but like, you can keep repeating it over and over again, but all I'm hearing is like Giuliani's propaganda coming through you in the face of all of the other mounting losses and opposition that Trump is facing in this whole election fraud process.
Okay, Destiny, you referred to Giuliani as throwing ballots to make me disenfranchised, right? Okay, so I don't believe that Giuliani's throwing ballots in my face to like disenfranchise me. I think people sign affidavits, which are subject to perjury, which is against the law to lie on. I don't think that he's throwing them in my face to disenfranchise me. I think those people could just have likely not written the affidavits, and there probably are people who haven't written affidavits for fear of like crazy Democrats coming to get them. That's why you saw.
Yeah, you're repeating me.
Michigan,
You're repeating me more Giuliani talking points. Like, oh, I had lawyers working on this, but they got death threats, and now they're scared, and a lot of people are scared. Like, okay.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it's like not something that many people are willing to do. So I think the fact that it's like hard to come out and like give out an affidavit, I don't think people are just lying when people have lost their jobs for like writing out affidavits. So I think it's
Who's gotten
disingenuous.
fired for writing an affidavit?
So I believe that lady that people made memes about all the time. I believe she can't get a job now or something, or she's gotten threats and things like this. And then
Was
you
it
saw at the
literally
Michigan
all
hearing-
she did was write an affidavit? Was that the only thing she did, or was there like a huge chunk of this story that you're conveniently leaving out? I'm curious.
No, I don't believe so. I mean, she probably is quite provocative. I mean, I don't believe that would bar anybody from a job. But anyways, but what my main point was is that at the Michigan hearing, I believe you saw it, when the Indian lady that you quoted, she, that one lady, one legislature asked her, like the only question she had was, "What is your name? What is your maiden name? Where do you work?" I think that's quite indicative of like what the Democrats are trying to do right now. It's like, let's like suppress this. Let's make it so people don't come up with affidavits. I don't see any major
Wait, that's
like,
that's
publication
part of
coming out and
that's
talking
the
about thousands of
fine.
affidavits.
Wait, that's how court cases work, my dude. You identify yourself for the public record. Everybody like has a right.
Well,
to
no,
be
it wasn't a
concerned.
court case. It was it wasn't a court case. This was like a hearing, right?
Yeah,
So,
I'm
like,
pretty
to
sure it's
ask
pretty
somebody-
normal at hearings that you like do like identify yourself. Like that's not.
Okay, but it's not normal at a hearing to like label out your maiden name, label out like where exactly you work.
So you
like,
think that they were just blatantly threatening her in a public forum and no one caught on to this?
What do you mean no one caught onto it? Yes, a ton of people. Like, if you actually watched the hearing, you would hear like two to three people said like, please don't intimidate the witness. This is like
In regards
like,
to just asking
if
that
you would-
question to state
Okay,
your
but
name
did
and
you-
occupation and whatever, like they said, don't intimidate the witness.
Did you see this part, or am I
I
just
probably
like,
did, but you
going right over
you
your
probably
head?
read way more into it than.
Okay, so the lady that was like shouting and saying that's Detroit, that's my city. So I'm not sure if you remember, but the
Oh wait,
exact
is this the
point-
crazy lady with the lipstick and the?
Right.
Okay.
So the only question she had for that old Indian woman with the rosaries was, what is your full name, maiden name, and exactly where you work? And then this goes back to my earlier statement that many of like people that have written affidavits have been intimidated, which is something that's commonplace on the left. I think that's something you should speak out against. I don't think you should like go and say, well, no, it's just a feels-based argument. I think it's something you as a streamer should probably say, no, I don't agree with like people going against people for like signing affidavits.
Okay.
Like, would you be willing to say that you condemn people who go after people for?
Yeah, of course.
Like,
You shouldn't go after people that simply sign an affidavit. I've never given any indication otherwise.
Okay, but earlier you were saying, oh, it's just like Giuliani, like propaganda. Like, oh, they're losing their jobs, so.
No, I
who
said
cares?
specifically that Giuliani just throwing 1,000 affidavits at you over and over again and saying this is evidence is propaganda that you're like eating hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe it's propaganda. I think thousands of people have written affidavits. I think to the likelihood of like 1,000 or more people just being misinformed about what they saw, I think that's a very low likelihood. I mean, you could be right that some of them, or maybe all of them, um, they could be lying. I just think it's very unlikely. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think you not covering it on your stream is just disingenuous to your
I've
viewers.
been covering all of this. That's why I'm familiar with most of the things that you're trying to talk about.
So then why did you deflect and say it's just affidavits, bro? It's like,
Because so far it is just affidavits. They haven't presented anything else of substance.
no, but you're saying it in the under the guise of like affidavits don't mean shit.
Because
or
on their own, affidavits don't really mean shit. It's just a
Okay, but
starting
they
point.
do.
No, they don't.
No, but they do mean
An affidavit is just me saying something. Like, hey, I think this was wrong. That's it. That's all an affidavit
Yeah, that's
is.
subject. Yeah, but you can get in big trouble if you lie on it.
If it's submitted
lie
to the
on-
court and you lie on it, yeah, you could, sure. If somebody decides to pursue perjury and everything, it's possible, yeah. That doesn't mean that they're like, it's possible that you could sign an affidavit, right? It's possible that you could sign an affidavit alleging something, and what you allege isn't actually fraud. It's not actually like material to the case. It's not actually like what you think it is. So in that case, you're fine. You're not perjuring yourself. You're not lying. But what you're alleging isn't actually like proving the big fraud that Giuliani thinks it is. Like,
Right. It's definitely not proving it, but it can serve as like it can serve as some backbone to to other evidence like
it could,
anomalies,
which we've
or
seen. No,
different
anomalies
things.
is not evidence.
So
okay?
what? So if not anomalies, what else would it? Okay, so what else would it serve to like help in a legal case? What other?
Yeah,
what
sure. So
evidence?
so here's some example evidence that would be strong. Okay, some election official giving direct orders that is actually contradictory to how like the election process should be run. That would be an example. Some type of video footage that would show an impropriety that is inconsistent with any of the like election rulings, with like how things ought to be counted or whatever. Like that would be evidence. Some evidence that the Dominion systems could be accessed by a third party in some way, where votes are being passed off or tabulated in a way that's not trackable, that doesn't leave some sort of trail. That would be some type of evidence.
Right.
I mean, we could sit here and brainstorm like a million times. None of this has ever been like shown.
Okay. So the first thing you mentioned about election officials doing something that's actually against state law, that's actually been seen. Well, hold on. That's been actually seen. If you look at the Alito ruling that you actually mentioned, the first ruling he made was that ballots are going to be segregated, which was not done, and I believe he said
True. Yeah.
an election official was outside of their.
Yeah, it was outside of their jurisdiction to rule. This was one of the
Right.
things that happened. Yeah, this was one of the very, very, very narrow rulings they got. Yeah.
Okay, so you said before, you said there's like this has never been seen, but yeah. So
Well, no, none of this is this. So this, my understanding was that basically, like, he made a statement relating to how they were going to sort ballots or letting people vote at a certain time or whatever, that he didn't have the authority to make. But that still doesn't get us to voter fraud. You like one of the things you guys mess up a lot on here is that you're very eager to get like one thing. You're like, oh, that's it. Now we're proving it. Like, no, dog. This is step one. Like now you have like your ass in the seat and you can start to have a conversation about maybe there's voter fraud. Like none of this proves anything. Like you're not even close to that. You're just like, this isn't even step one. This is like building your case so that you can begin to make step one. That's the problem, is that you're asserting a lot of stuff that you think is evidence, but it's not evidence at all. It's just like, this would be like the preliminary part of like an investigation or, some sort of claim you're going to make.
That doesn't even go
right,
towards.
but to have an investigation.
No.
To have an investigation, you need affidavits. So to say affidavits don't mean anything, or just affidavits, bro, it's so disingenuous.
Affidavits don't.
Affidavits
are.
You need them.
No, you don't. First of all, you don't need them. No, you
investigation.
don't even need them.
Well, they help. They definitely help, right?
Not if they don't actually prove anything. No, not if when they go through all the affidavits, it all ends up being bullshit.
You do realize that the Alito ruling had nothing to do with voter fraud, right? It's about the constitutionality of mail-in ballots.
Okay, I didn't realize this was a 2v1, but anyways.
Well, he's a lawyer, so he gets triggered when people say dumb shit about legal stuff. Sorry.
Okay, so the reason I said that is because affidavits, they definitely do help. They can lead to investigations. They can lead to court rulings. I believe like
an affidavit
Trump
on its own won't.
off.
It's just a starting point.
Okay, so like, do you believe Trump would be worse off in arguing his case if 0 people made affidavits? Do you believe he would be worse or better off in
Well,
arguing his case?
I mean, based on how I think a judge gave a pretty scathing reply to how Giuliani was soliciting these affidavits, so they might end up hurting him more than helping him. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. But like right now, the affidavits don't seem to have done anything positive for Trump. In fact, I think that one ruling that they had where the guy overstepped the boundary or whatever, I don't even think that even came off an affidavit. I think that was just like a general, like people noticed that he did a thing and then, but that wasn't like some affidavit that was filed by some like election clerk or whatever working in an office or somewhere. Or at least that's my understanding of it.
I'm not sure, but maybe Apple can answer this. But I do believe that affidavits have been used in like some court cases regarding this election.
Yeah,
and,
when they're
and
supporting evidence.
Hold on, and being in favor and like a ruling being in favor of Trump. Has there ever been a case where that has happened?
I mean, I don't know specifically, but typically an affidavit by itself is hearsay evidence that needs to be, supported by something in substance, i.e. like a direct witness testimony under examination in a courtroom. And it seems like a lot of these affiants are kind of scared to go directly under oath in court because there are actual penalties there instead of just submitting an affidavit before a hearing, before like the Michigan House of Representatives or something, for example.
I mean, okay, so...
Wait, can I ask a question? For the affidavit, can you only get in trouble for that if it's actually submitted to court?
I mean, if you make a sworn affidavit and, you're not under penalty of law, I mean, there's no like enforcing entity around you, then I don't like, what are you going to get in trouble for?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm curious. So, like, I could theoretically like submit like a sworn affidavit to Giuliani I want, but if he never submits that to like an actual courtroom or whatever, unless he sues me himself or something, I'm not going to get in trouble.
I don't believe that's the case.
Well, wait, then who's going to enforce it?
Well, hold on. You are making a sworn testimony that's under oath, right? So let's go over the affidavit thing. So like, how can you say that you would never get, like, if you lie, you can't just go willy-nilly and lie on an affidavit and
here's
right?
a question that I have, okay? I could fill out an affidavit to you, okay? And I could say like, hey, I saw 27 unicorns outside yesterday. And I could do a sworn affidavit and fill it out and send it to you. How am I ever going to get in trouble for that if you don't submit that to a court and you don't sue me yourself?
I mean, that would be a question for Apple's to answer, right? I mean, like, what are your thoughts on that as the legal analyst here?
I mean, if the facts are materially false, then you are committing perjury under law.
Yeah, right. but where's the enforcement coming from? Like,
I mean, I don't know.
Like you like either you would have to take me to like court, right? But if it's not supported or submitted in like a case or whatever, right? Like there's no enforcement on that, right? Like nobody's gonna like. Right? Am I missing something?
I guess arguably an officer of the court would be the one to take you to court or, to enforce the perjury claim against you.
Yeah, but assuming that I gave you this affidavit in a private setting, like with Giuliani, and nothing's been submitted to like a court case, there's no enforceability here unless somebody chooses to like submit your affidavit to court, right? That's my understanding of it. Otherwise, I don't know who would even know that you're submitting a false affidavit, right? Like I could send you an email right now. I could swear to a false affidavit and send it to you, but like you would have to submit that to like a court or somewhere. And I don't know I don't even know how that process would work.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just based on the specific state rules of civil procedure, I would assume.
Sure.
But I don't actually know.
Like generally, it's against the law to lie on an affidavit, and you could be held liable for it.
You could be, but it's like...
Would I be correct in saying that, Apples?
Yes. Well, yeah, none of us disagree with that, but you could also like be held liable for speeding, but that doesn't mean that like every time you speed, you're going to like go to jail, right?
But you're not going to go speed if like I guess that's not the greatest analogy.
No, it's the perfect analogy because it fits in with what Apple has just said. So a lot of people speed, they just don't speed in front of cops. Much the same way that a lot of people are filling out these big baller affidavits, but they seem unwilling to testify under oath in court.
Yeah, but still, they can still be held liable for it. So
assuming Giuliani submits these affidavits to the court, but Giuliani's probably not going to do that if he's burning all of his fucking like witnesses or whatever, right?
Okay, but like Destiny, you're not seeing this. If you don't just go and write an affidavit like it's a journal or something, right? It's a sworn affidavit. We all know that you can be held criminally liable for it. It's not like you can just go write this and lie on it and feel good about it. It's not a good analogy to relate it to speeding.
Okay.
Because
I mean, but keep in mind too, it doesn't have to be lies. The problem with some of these affidavits is that they're filled out truthfully, but it's just that they don't actually allege fraud, or they don't prove or go to say anything that actually happened. So like a lot of these affidavits that have been filed so far have literally just been like misunderstandings of the process for like how the election stuff is tallied and everything.
I mean, yeah, you could be right. But let's wrap this up real quick. So I guess just the main point is, I think it's disingenuous for you to not cover like wins and not cover affidavits. Yeah. Anything you want to say?
Nope, I will keep that in mind.
Okay.
Have fun. Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.